Hi, everybody. I hope that this recording is finding you all safe and staying well with your loved ones. I'm honored to have been asked by Women in Agribusiness to talk about leading during a crisis. And the first thing I'll say is I'm certainly not leading alone. And the second thing I'll say is that in our organization, we're seeing people at every level find opportunities to lead. My name is Mary-Olga Lovett. I'm a senior vice president at Greenberg, Traurig, an international law firm. I'm also a trial lawyer, a wife and a mom, and like many of you, I've been looking for the best path to guide my teams and the folks in our organization during what is truly an unprecedented time. And I think I've used the words unprecedented and uncharted more than in the last 6 weeks than I will ever use them in my lifetime. So when I started thinking about what leadership means in a time like this, I've learned a lot of lessons in the last few weeks that I'm happy to share. I think the first is to lead from a place of vulnerability, which is going to sound odd, and I don't want that to sound like the chick thing to say. But when I say vulnerability, I mean by expressing to those that you lead that we don't know, that we are uncertain, that there are things that we can't predict or project like we typically could in a normal business environment. We've all been through difficult times. We've all seen things that we considered unprecedented. But with this situation, with COVID-19, there really is so little that we can predict or project accurately as I sit here today on April 28th of 2020. And hopefully that gets better with time, but I think one of the real key tenets of authentic leading is telling people that we don't know either, that we don't know any more than you do, and that we're learning this together. It gives us an opportunity to solicit feedback, to solicit questions from our team members that actually provoke thought, that guide discussions, and actually perhaps put us on the path to making the decisions that are important. And we've had so many insightful questions and suggestions from every member of our team globally that have helped us shape what we're doing to address this pandemic. I think the second thing is to lead from strength, the exact opposite. And what I mean by that is probably self-evident. But the first thing that jumped into my mind is what was unprecedented that we've led through before. I was a very young law partner when 9/11 happened, and that was an unprecedented situation. The financial downturn of 2008, 2009 was an unprecedented event. So you start drawing from your experiences like human beings do. What have I done before that I thought was undoable or difficult? The other thing about leading from strength is you have to make the hard decisions early. And there are hard decisions to be made at this time, and you can't flinch when you make them. You have to figure out the plan and then execute quickly to make sure that you're not having to make more difficult, larger scale hard decisions down the road. I think the third thing is to lead from empathy. And when I say that, I mean, as we're reaching out to our clients, to your customers, that we're reaching out and saying, gosh, can you believe this? Look, we're all working at home. My dog just came into the shot. But also on a truly human level, this pandemic has done what nothing else has been able to do. It has united an entire world in vulnerability, in a feeling of helplessness sometimes. And so I think it's important to reach out to your clients and to your customers and say, how are you? What can I do for you personally? How are your folks? How are your children? How are you coping? Are there things that make you want to tear your hair out? Let me share that with you. And then, of course, talking about business solutions, ways that you can be a partner to them at this time. And it's not because you're being opportunistic. It's because you're being a true friend and a true partner. And I've had so many folks reach out to me who are my vendors or people that I work with. And I won't forget that. That's something that the true personal connection at a time like this and leading from empathy is very important. I would also say lead by serving, lead by doing what you can, and from a place of humor. I think it's very important to lead from a place of knowledge, to lead from keeping informed. I mean, obviously there can be information overload right now. You don't want to get too bogged down in every single piece of COVID-19 data that comes out because that data is changing daily. And frankly, I think it's not good for our mental health and well-being to be overly focused on it. but watch what your peers are doing. Watch what your competitors are doing. Watch what your customers are doing. Watch what your clients are doing, and really sort of bundle that knowledge into what you're doing. Take the good ideas, steal the good ideas, share your own, and then you're leading really from a place of knowledge. And the last thing I'll say is lead from a place of humor. This is a dire situation, a frightening situation, and in many ways, it's a funny situation in terms of what we're dealing with in our daily lives. I had a court hearing where my dog made a surprise video appearance. I am wearing a suit, but I'm also wearing sweats and sneakers to address you. There are all kinds of ways that we can find some pockets of sunlight in what's going on. And so encourage your teams to meet regularly. Check in at least once a day just to see how everybody's doing, and also to make sure that your critical work is getting done. And we will get through this together. I learn the most from the people that I am supposedly leading, and I hope that you will too. Be well.